Deadlifts, great exercise for strengthening the entire posterior of your lower body. Hamstrings, glutes, lower back, also sometimes the calves as well, okay? For your deadlifts, the most important thing is your foot placement. We want to make sure that your feet are slightly outside of your hip alignment. Once we get our feet set in place, we're then going to focus on a hip hinge position, keeping a soft bend in the knees, all right? So as I go in position here, I'm going to grab onto the bar, pushing my butt back, having a soft bend in those knees. I'm going to make sure that my shoulders stay nice and square, keeping my head down and my chin down to my chest, neck in line with the spine the entire time, okay? Once I grab onto that bar, I'm going to place my hands slightly outside of my knee alignment. As I perform the movement, I want to make sure that I keep my shoulders square, my back nice and flat. I'm going to push through my heels away from the ground, okay? Nice and slow, about a 2-second tempo. As I drive and extend my legs, I'm going to perform a pelvic tilt at the top, squeezing my butt nice and tight. Once again, keeping the shoulders nice and square. Now, my eccentric position of this movement is a hip hinge, okay? First thing I'm gonna do is hinge at the hips, pushing the butt back. Remember, chin down to the chest, soft bend in the knees. I'm gonna keep that bar as tight as to my shins as possible, coming all the way down completely to the ground. Deadlifts are great for strengthening your entire posterior chain of movement, the glutes, the hamstrings, and even the calves. When you perform the deadlifts, you're also going to be strengthening and using your rector spinae, which are your lower back muscles. Deadlifts are an essential movement to any strength program. Whether you're an athlete or someone just trying to build overall strength and functionality in your body, make sure you add deadlifts into your training program. Now let's talk about all three forms of your deadlifts. We have a traditional deadlift in which our feet are slightly outside of hip alignment. We have a RDL, also the Romanian deadlift, when your feet are more narrow in line with the hips. And then the third variation will be the sumo deadlift, where our feet are outside of our hip alignment, toes are turned outward, okay? All three variations of the deadlift are beneficial to chaining the posterior chain of movement. However, the closer your feet are, the more you're going to target the hamstrings and less of the glutes. Feet are outside of hip alignment slightly, I'm going to get a combination of both. It's going to be a nice balance between glutes and hamstrings. When I open my legs up really wide and turn those toes outward, I'm going to train more of the glutes. I'm also going to train a lot more of the abductors, which is the inner thigh region of the body. You're going to perform the same position for every variation, keeping the shoulders square, keeping your chin down, neck in line with the spine, and pushing away from the ground as you drive through the heels. Remember, always perform that pelvic tilt at the top of that movement, squeezing the glutes, maximizing contraction, keeping the chest up nice and tall.